Hi, my name is Jennifer Mariucci. I'm an attorney here at Legal Help for Veterans. Prior to working here, I was a Social Security disability attorney for almost 13 years. I worked for several years as a representative, helping claimants get Social Security disability benefits. And after that, I worked for more than 10 years at the Social Security Administration itself. So I'm really familiar with Social Security Administration. And now I'm transitioning to veterans benefits work. And so I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the differences and similarities between Social Security disability and veterans disability. First off, the primary difference between Social Security disability and VA disability is that the Social Security disability does not offer rated decisions. Social Security either finds you disabled or not disabled. The Veterans Administration will rate you based on different disabilities. With the veterans disability, you can get a 10% rating for, say, tinnitus, and a 10% rating for hearing loss, and 20% rating for each of your knees, and get a 50% total rating. And then you'll get paid based on that 50% total rating. With the Social Security Administration, they ask whether or not you can do work or can't do work. And it's either or and a yes or no question. One of the most frequently asked questions that I get between VA and disability benefits is why, if I have a disability decision from the VA, does the Social Security Administration not find me disabled right off the bat? And that's because the Social Security Administration is not bound by the decision of any other governmental agency. And that's the same for the VA. So if the Social Security Administration finds you disabled, the VA doesn't have to honor that. So veterans will often come and say, here's my decision, I submitted it and it didn't do anything. And that's something that the Social Security Administration has to consider, but it's not dispositive. How do you apply for disability benefits at either the VA or the Social Security Administration? Well, you can apply online or in person. Generally, I would suggest that online is better. It's quicker. You don't have to make an appointment, and you get a printout that everything has been filed right from the get-go. After you file for disability benefits at the VA or the Social Security Administration, they get information from your doctors regarding your health conditions, and then they make a determination on whether or not you're disabled. For the Social Security Administration, if you're denied initially, you file a reconsideration. If you're denied after reconsideration, you file for a hearing in front of an administrative law judge. So there's 3 stages to a Social Security disability decision. For the veterans disability, there's multiple ways that you can appeal. You can file a supplemental claim, you can file for higher level review, or you can file an appeal in front of the Board of Veterans Appeals. That's very similar to the 3rd stage in the Social Security Administration, where it's in front of a judge. So how does Social Security decide if you're disabled? The Social Security Administration has a 5-step process that they go through when making a decision. And so the first thing that they ask is, are you working? And this is another frequently asked question that I get, is whether or not I can work and receive Social Security disability benefits. And you can work, but there are income limitations on that. And the income limitation is about $1,300 a month. That goes up a little bit every year. But if you're working and earning less than that, then you're still entitled to Social Security disability benefits. The other option for working is if you are working in an accommodated workplace. Maybe a family business or a job where you get extra breaks or you have extra benefits, but you're paid the same amount as somebody else who doesn't have those. Outside of those, if you are working and earning over that amount, you can't get Social Security disability benefits. This is very similar to the income limitations on TDIU. For veterans who apply for TDIU, you can't work and earn more than the poverty threshold, which is about $13,000 a year. Those 2 things, those are very close and a very similar consideration. After the Social Security Administration determines whether or not your work qualifies or doesn't qualify for those 2 categories, they determine whether or not you have health conditions that affect your workability. And this is a really low bar. Almost anything qualifies. So if you're filing for a Social Security disability claim, put all of your health conditions on there. That's something that they have to consider, everything and the bulk of those conditions combined. After those conditions are assessed by the Social Security Administration, the Social Security Administration assesses work-related limitations based on those conditions. So if you have a back condition, you'll be limited based on what you can lift and carry, how long you can sit and stand, maybe how much bending you can do. People with epilepsy will be limited based on their ability to drive, based on their ability to be around heights or hazards. People with hearing conditions will often be limited based on the sort of work environment that they'll be in. Maybe they'll be limited to, an office environment. After the Social Security Administration determines your health conditions, they have to determine whether or not your health conditions automatically make you disabled. There are certain conditions that are automatically disabling. The easiest example is metastatic cancer. Kidney disease with dialysis is another common example. And also organ transplants. So if you have any of those, you will automatically qualify. After your health conditions have been assessed and work-related limitations have been assessed based on those conditions, the Social Security Administration has to compare your past work to your health conditions. And so this is where people are often confused, because they will come to me and say, I stopped working because I can't do my job. So this is a legal question that the Social Security has to determine. And they do that by comparing a dictionary definition of your jobs and your own description of your jobs for the past 15 years. And they compare those definitions to the work limitations that they assessed in the last stage. And so if all of those work limitations will preclude you from doing your jobs based on that dictionary definition and based on your own definition, then you're disabled. If those limitations will not preclude you from doing your prior jobs, either as you define them or as the dictionary defined them, then you're not disabled. Now, the last stage of the assessment is whether or not you can do other work. People will say, I can't get a job. I've looked and I looked. I can't do my old job. I can't do any other job. Nobody's gonna hire me. It's really important to remember that whether or not you can get a job or whether or not you can get hired for a job is not the same thing as whether or not you can do a job. This is a second legal question that the Social Security Administration has to answer. They take all of those health conditions that you have and all of the health-related limitations on your work ability, and at this step, they apply a set of rules. It's called the medical vocational rules to your situation, and it's based on a claimant's age, their education, and their work history. And often they will ask a vocational expert at this stage also. And so if the vocational rules based on your age, education, and work history say that you can work, or if a vocational expert testifies here that you can work, that you're not disabled. And so the way that this works is that it is easier for an older person with less education and, say, a difficult physical job to get disability benefits than it is for a younger person. People, particularly under age 50, have difficulty getting disability benefits. So once again, in closing, my name is Jennifer Mariucci. I'm an attorney at Legal Help for Veterans. I encourage you, if you have any questions, to call our office. Our 800 number is 1-800-693-4800. And thank you very much for your service.